Oh no. What's going on here? Stupid thing. I'm getting to where I hate this. Okay. Why is the camera not working? Damn. Sorry, guys. I can't, there we go. There we go. All right. I don't know why this cam 2 is not working. Let's see what we got here. Hey, good morning or afternoon, Alexander. I've got to figure out this other camera, what the problem is. It's either come unplugged or something's happened. Oh. That's this one here. Sorry about that. Just hold on. I'm getting aggravated doing these videos because nothing ever works. Got some twit engineer trying to figure out how to make it better. And it never works. So what's happened here? That's working. Cam 1 or Cam 2. Hey, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, Alexander. Let's see here. Cam 2, properties. Come on. It's like nothing. Cancel. There we go. Don't know what happened there. Let's see here. There we go. We got it. All right. They've been monkeying around with YouTube again. All right. So today I don't know if you watched last night. I kind of shaped out the nose on this, but it's not anywhere near close. So I'll do a little bit more. I got to go to the store today. Do my weekly grocery shopping. But I figured I'd get a little bit in here this morning. So let's transition over here. Come on now. All right. So I'm still shaping. And still trying to make this a smooth transition. This is not going to work. 320, take all year to cut that. Here we go. When you have good light like this, you can see all the high spots. So you just start picking off the high spots. Still have that slight flat right here. I don't want that. So we have to knock that side down some more. Keep it knocking down till it comes around to the top. You know, I know that these sanding videos are very boring, but I'm hoping that when you guys see me do this, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and yeah, they're funny, and I like Vice Grip Garage and Project Farm, and they're funny, but they don't really show what it takes to do the job. So I'm hoping that even though these are long and boring, you can see how I operate the block, my thought process on how I get things accomplished. So just about we're up to the center point on that. So let's do this. This is a no-no what I'm doing here, but I need to move a lot of material to get it down smooth, flat. You see that flat that I put on it right there? You don't never want to do that, but I had to move a lot of material, so you can get away with it if you got to move a lot. So we're looking at it from the side, and I'm visualizing. Well, that's good, Alexander. That's the whole process behind this. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at this curve. I'm visualizing what a spinner would look like on there. Let me get this one here. There's a close one. This is not the spinner that I'm going to use, but here's a spinner. And you have to visualize that curve. You want to keep this spinner, or a spinner that you use, should look like it's molded right into the fuselage. And what I'll do after I get it close is I will put some masking tape on this, bolt the engine in or bolt it on there, and I will make that spinner, that arc, the same as the spinner. That's what gives you a nose that's noticeable. It's not just right to here and then dump, or come back to here and then a lump like that. You want it to all flow. You want it to flow from the cockpit all the way. That shape needs to go from the cockpit all the way to the tip of the spinner in order to look like an airplane that was designed instead of hacked together. I built enough of these airplanes to know about what it takes without even putting the spinner up there. I knew how much to cut off of it. After you've done several hundred of these, you can forego some of the critical stuff. But as a new person trying this, I would suggest that you get the spinner bolted on first, and then sand to the spinner. So if you look here, the flat's going away. I mean, I just about got the flat gone out of that. This is 80 grit, so we're moving as much material as I can. And then sight down it, and look, if you sight right down it, I don't know that you can see that it's a little high right here. So you just keep sanding it. Your eyes, even though I'm blind, your eyes can pick up shape pretty readily. Okay, let's get this cut in here, because this looks like hell here. So I kind of determined that's the shape that I want. Let me find a pen. And what I'm about to do here is very difficult, but it looks so good. It looks so good, very difficult. This turn-up is inside the cockpit. The canopy comes way out to here, an inch past this. So the pilot sits here. This is the dashboard, the top of the dashboard right here. And the canopy comes about right to there. I really ought to move it forward a little more. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see when I get to carving. Got to find a pen. Part of the gonna need this. Part of the building these model airplanes is it's art. It's nobody can tell you that this is right or that is right or wrong or whatever. So I'm going to move it forward a little bit. So I kind of center it up there. I'm going to draw that circle. So now that I've done this, I have to lower the whole nose. I'm going to have to lower the whole nose about 1/8 of an inch. But that's okay. You say, what the heck is he talking about? Well, I'll get to it right now. Couldn't find a knife. Here we go. Get the trash can over here. It's going to be whittling some more shaving. Oh, man. Trust me, you guys that say you got no room, you need to come work here one time. So I need to look and see if it's centered up. It's not. It's got to move over that way. That's close enough. Winship Models, thanks for the Roger Wildman Memorial link. I know, it was sad. I try to do the best I can on the memorials. That's back when I was editing videos. And yeah, I could. Here's the deal, guys. I could edit these videos and they would run a lot smoother, but you're not going to get as much information out because they take twice as long to edit as they do to make the actual video. So you're going to get half as many videos if I edit. I did a roll call. You look up the roll call video, Dan. I need to do another one because a lot of other guys have passed away. So you see what I'm doing here is I'm digging into this. If I didn't have to worry about shavings, it'd go a lot faster. This is well worth the hassle, I think, to these little details that I do, like the fillets at the fuselage are different on this airplane. The fillets or the winglets cutouts are different. The tips of the elevator stabilizer are different. And they're things that look like, well, that's not going to work, but they do because I've sat down and sanded and thought them out. So anything that looks like it's not going to work, I like doing. So now we got a spot. We know where that's where it's got to be. So next I'm going to get I Do I want a big notch around there or a small one? Let me think. I'll try the small radius first. Let's see here. If I do the big radius, it'll look out of proportion. You've got to have the small radius. So just get yourself a piece of tubing, small tubing. This is, I don't know, this is probably 5/8 of an inch, this piece of tube. Make a polywog like so. You notice I do a lot of cross grain sanding when I'm doing these noses. You remember I told you that this nose is going to go like a wave. It's going to go up to the top and then down and then back up. And this is the steps on how to do this. You know, so many airplanes today are boxes. And the airplanes of the 60s were very shapely. And the nice thing about this, if you screw it up, you cut it off and put another block on it and do it again. But I've done enough of these that I know that this is going to be just fine. You don't want to put any flats on it again. Yeah, Dan, let's hope I don't have to do one of those for you. Or any other of my friends. I'm tired of doing them. So let's knock them lines off so I can see if it's straight or not. This is my eraser. No good. So gotta do it like this. So this part right here is what's going to key into the back half. This will be notched a 1/2 inch so that you get a good 1/2 inch gluing surface there. And the seam will be hidden underneath the canopy, so you'll never see that it's. That's another thing. When you guys are building these things, you got to plan them out in your head. You know, don't put the seam up here because you know darn well that in the sun the seam is going to show. It's going to come right back. So if you put it under the canopy, in all the muck, you know, you're going to be putting on the super fill and all that other business in there. You'll never see it because it's filled with a goop. Hope that makes sense. I think we're going to need a little bit of CA there. It feels like it's moving. We can't have it moving. So I'm trying to get it even, symmetrical. Now I use the next biggest pilot on my airplanes because it's more to scale. It looks more realistic than them little pilots. A guy 6 foot tall wouldn't look like a midget sitting in this airplane because either that or it'd be a bomber. Real life stunt plane is about as wide as the guy's shoulders, so. I've made that look pretty easy, I think. I hope. So now we have to lower the deck down to this height right here. Which is not a problem because we have Grinder Max Durablock Master 10,000. I wish it had 36 grit sandpaper on it. But I'm doing something you're not supposed to do. Don't stand with the grain, but I got a lot of material to move. I got 3/16 of an inch to move to make it look right. What I'll do here is I'll sand on this for an hour, then I'll go to the supermarket. What happened was while I was gone for the week, my refrigerator, the power must have went out, and everything in my refrigerator spoiled. So I tested out a piece of ham this morning to see if it was all right. Didn't smell bad, didn't taste bad, but better not take a chance. So I've lost everything in the refrigerator except for the soda and the water. I don't want to get sick. I've had food poisoning. I ate a hamburger in St. Louis and puked my guts out all the way back to Dayton. So I don't know what was wrong with that hamburger. Got to get that high spot out right there. So keep sanding. These models to me are on the fly. Yes, 80 grit, Frog. I'd use 36 if I had some, but I don't. Because I'm basically trying to move mountains here. Afternoon, Christopher. It's coming. Still high right here. And it won't be here for long though. I'm really grind on it. And the lower you lower this, the more you have to sand in the fuselage side. So you got to bring that, which is fine because it doesn't matter. We're getting rid of material. And so if it ain't glued to something, you don't need it. So cut it off. So this ain't glued to anything, so we're going to get rid of it. You know what I mean? The shape, the volume is weight. So I'm reducing the volume, thus reducing the weight. I'm going to have to do another thing I don't recommend, but I'm going to have to. Try to do as little of this, what I'm going to show you. You know what? I got a new block with better sandpaper on it, longer and better. I'm open hand sanding. I don't recommend doing that to guys that don't, haven't sanded. I've been sanding longer than most guys are old, but of course, I don't know. Us control line guys are a pretty aging group. But if you're a young guy, remember, I've been sanding longer than you are old. Got pretty good control with your hands, but you got to kind of know what you can get away with and what you can't. Yeah, there's a problem here. I keep sanding it and it keeps moving. So we're going to put a drop of CA right there. I don't want to end up with it being too short. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the super chats. The super chats help the channel metrics. Dan Winship and I were talking just before I lit this video off. If you're somebody that knows YouTube, knows how it works, how to make keywords work, and would like to help me on the channel, send me a message. I need a channel manager, somebody who can put in the keywords and the organization to my channel to help it grow. We're starting to pick up steam, but I need a boost. And that boost is in the keywords and the metrics. And I don't understand how it works because I'm just a dumb old mechanic, carpenter, welder, fabricator, model airplane builder. But if you're 12 years old and you know how to do this, that's about what it would take. Somebody who's into gaming. Now, I lost my sticky. That's the only bad thing about sticky paper is you're using it open-handed like that. The sawdust gets on it and that loses its glue. It's stickum. I'll tell you what, the flat spot's all gone out of there now. That's a good thing. We're going to get this close, and then I'm going to get some 180 grit sandpaper and sand out the 80 grit sandpaper scratches and get kind of a better look at it and see. Remember, this sanding business is just about taking, I'm moving material with 80. And once I got the shape I want, I'm smoothing it with 180, 220, 320 to take the scratches out. Now this here will be cut back like that. So it won't look like this. You know, I don't know. I'll have to explain it when I get the top block made, which I'm going to do today after the supermarket. I wish I wouldn't have ate that ham. It got me worried now. Yeah, most can happen to throw up, I guess. I should listen to my mother's voice in my head. When in doubt, throw it out. Yeah, that come out real nice. Your mom was pretty smart, trust me. She knew. At least mine was. Danny, I hope you're sanding or cutting, or you're not just sitting there looking at me. Okay, so I think that's pretty much shaped. Got a spot here, but that gets, when I cut this out, this all gets cut away. This whole area, I'll roll that over. So that gets cut out, so it's like a 1/4 inch or 3/16, I suppose. And then this gets cut back this way. We won't do that until I get the, I guess it comes here. So this height will get cut down here, and this will all be cut away. This will be gone. And the pilot will sit right there, and the canopy comes up to about here. And that's another nice thing about not using plans. You're not building anybody's design. You do what the hell you want. What looks good to you? Okay, let's find some 180. Okay, this will be the test to see how good it looks. After smoothing out the, let me put this over here so it don't flip off on the floor, make a glue dauber on the floor. So whatever, I had an hour last night, in an hour and a half so far, I've shaped this nose. Now we're going to build a cowl today too. Pretty big plans to build a cowl, and the that's my goal, build a cowl today and the back mold, and get that. I probably won't get it laid up until tomorrow, but at least get the mold done. All this airplane building is about sanding. You can't get away from it. Different types of sanding. This is rough sanding, or rough sanding. Then there's finish sanding. And the finish sanding is the hardest. You wouldn't think so, but it is. Got a hole growing right there. Don't worry about it. We're going to back that up from the inside. This baby will look like a baseball bat when I'm done here. Not supposed to do this, but I'm trying to speed it up. Get the scratches out of this thing and see how it looks. Still going to be too high right there for the spinner. Okay, now I haven't put the spinner on there, but I know darn well that this is too high right here for the shape of the spinner. You see what I'm saying? It's going to have to drop 1/8 of an inch. But at least I know now I didn't go too far, because you go too far, you're stuck. You got to cut it off and do it again. So I roughed it with the 80 and kind of smoothed it with the 180 to see where we are, and we're not far enough yet, which is a good thing, because if I'd have been too far, I'd have been cutting this off and starting again. So small steps in a forward direction is better than a giant leap and 2 steps backwards. So this is going to have to drop 1/16 of an inch. So we used a long 80 grit paper block. Don't go too far. Man. I know some of you guys are looking at me, what the hell is he doing? Sanding is a signature. I can tell who built the airplane by looking at how it's sanded. Once I know the person's signature. When I see an airplane show up, I know exactly Bob Hunt built it, or Phil Granderson did it. It's all in the saying. It's this right here, each individual. And they say, well, I built it. Yeah, your ass. Where was it built? Over Hunt's. Yeah. Hunt. Sure. Hunt is a good sander. Okay, we'll look at it. We dropped it quite a bit, but did I drop it enough? Nope. You see? See how it goes foot, like that? Nope. Let's try a different shape spinner, see how that looks. Okay. This is an unobtainium. This will probably be the spinner that goes on this, because it's the lightest. It's the 7-gram model. Yeah, we're getting close. Matter of fact, real close, so I don't want to drop too far. This is unobtainium. They don't make these anymore. It is so light. It's 1 layer of carbon. Just remember, anything that's any good, everybody quits making, bums me out. Once they figure out that they got something that they can sell, they stop making it. Aggravating. That's why I asked that lady when I called PPG. I said, "You gonna quit making DC 540?" "Oh no, yeah, they didn't quit making it. They just changed the formula so it didn't work." I was working on Harley Davidson. I think I've told this story before. And I'm on the back bench. I was way in the back of the shop, and I was a senior mechanic. Service writer comes up to me and said, "There's a girl out here who's a salesman for That's great. For a safety clean. Okay, send her back. So she comes back to the back of the bench and says, we got this new biodegradable, non-toxic, environmentally safe parts cleaner. And it tastes like oranges. I said, well, how would you know that? She squirts it in her mouth. But that's the selling point. It's environmentally friendly. I said, okay, let's see it work. So I smeared a pile of grease onto the bench, and she took that bottle and then wiped it, smeared the grease around. I go, that's really good. Now watch my stuff. What? Done. You know. And then I said, if it's biodegradable, non-toxic, environmentally safe, it don't work. We don't want it. And we didn't get any. Thank God for that. Well, Alexander, that's how you get the nose to look right. Because when you walk up to somebody's airplane, their eye goes right here. That's the first, because that's where you grab it. That's why this is all fiberglass, because you're going to be handling this. That's why it's boxed in, so it's solid. I mean, this is, I could hit you with this and knock you out with this part. This part here would break, but this part here would be pretty solid. Let's see how it looks now. We'll get it cleaned up here. It lost its sticky stem. Like I've said on the video last night, this will take 4 or 5 sand-offs to make right. We'll get it close here. I mean, I'm nowhere near finished, but we'll get it close so that I can get an idea of what this thing is going to look like. So what this paper is doing is taking out the 80 grit scratches. And then we'll drop the 320 and take out the 180 scratches. If you're real anal, you can drop down to 400 or 600. I don't go that far. It's just 320. That's plenty. We got high there, so. It didn't move again. Sure enough. I glued that side and didn't glue this side. So we'll put a drop right there. This thing's going to have great big fillets in here. Big old fillets. Super hard to do. But I like hard. As long as I can make it light, I like hard. Keep eyeing it, keep your eye on things. You don't let it get away from you. You go too far, you're sunk. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate the super chats. The t-shirts are up. I haven't figured out how to get the links to come up on the branding yet. I used to know how to do it, but they've changed things. And I got a new shirt out. I got the opener shirt out I put up today. I need to get a link to the Teespring store back into the videos. And we got about 12 designs that Gary Sinclair drew up. Pretty nice stuff. Then I'll do I guess I'll do the Triangle 21 in a shirt too. I'm gonna have to redo it in Inkscape. I just don't have all the time. It's either build or monkey with computers. And that's the reason that the edited videos have went away, because of time. Well, they look more professional and probably easier to watch than a guy stand for an hour. I just don't have the time. I don't mind showing how I do things, but I do mind having to waste my time editing videos. I need an electric hand. Yeah. So let's maybe over the shoulder view would be better. Come on. So you're seeing it. Let me raise this up just as I'm looking at it. Got the bill of the hat in the way. So you're looking through my eyes right now. And this is what I'm looking at. It's kind of hard to do the light. You look right here, you can see the scratches of the 80. We'll get them out here. I'm not really removing much material, so I'm not putting a flat in it. I'm just removing scratches from the 80. If you do that with 80 grit, you'd have a scratch. I prefer live videos. I'm able to ask a question as you are working. Yeah, for me, I like this format better. Great, no problem. I just, the optics, they don't look real professional on the playback or whatever. This channel is about building model airplanes. All these techniques that I use here for you guys that are maybe RC guys that have chimed in, all the techniques I use are RC compatible. You guys are probably wondering why there's 2 hash marks here. This is an engineering redirection. I was going to lower the wing in the fuselage, but decided that the more inline that I can make it, it would turn better because of the heavier engine. This line right here was for Super Tiger 60. This line here is for PA. Because the ounce difference in weight. I'm no aeronautical engineer, but if you guys ever watch that movie Flight of the Phoenix, where the guy is a model designer and he makes the airplane, trust me, all of it, all that we do here is the same. The principle's the same in real aviation. Okay, if you look here, you can see that this nose is sanded way down into here. That's fine. That's good. Need to get that line out, but so we need to move this back here some more. So we'll get our 80 grit. I hate doing that. Right. Maybe I'll use this end. No, I better use this end. It didn't take much. As long as you guys, especially the guys who do the super chats, are improving your skills, it's worth it. When you're building these airplanes, just try to do one thing better on the next one. And then on the next one, do one thing more that's better. Do it all equal, but do one thing more that's better. One thing more difficult. Change one thing. See what happens. I've done so many changes on airplanes over the years. I know what works and what doesn't. You know, Dan and I were talking about guys on the forum with different shapes of this, that, and the other. And my thought was, how many airplanes that guy build in his life? And he figured out he's built one a year, maybe. So he's built 10 airplanes in a lifetime, where I build hundreds. Said, would you think that I figured out what works and what doesn't work by now? So for now, what I figured out is that this combination that I'm doing, the wing I'm using is a modified USA 1 wing. It's thicker. The same plan form, 11.5-inch cord. I don't know what the root is, but it's exactly the same root. And I've cut the span down because I want to get away from high aspect. I've cut the flaps down because I don't want to fly off of the flaps. And I've thickened the airfoil up 1/4 inch, 1/8 on each side. So there again, we stole it. Not a USA 1 anymore. And the cosmetics, it doesn't matter what it looks like. The numbers are what counts. Of course, there again, it does kind of matter what it looks like. You can't get too crazy. So I put the dashboard in there, and that looks pretty good. It looks kind of strange because it's not cut out, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine because I say it'll be fine. Why is this thing not focusing? So we're going on 2 o'clock. I need to get to the grocery store and I'll be back later on. Got about 5 minutes left in this hour. These videos normally run about an hour. It's hard to hold somebody's attention longer than an hour watching somebody sand. But let's see. Got some epoxy there. It's going to have to come in some more. So when you're looking at the side of it, the side of the fuselage, it has to come in like that as well, as best as possible, but the top especially. I have some different shaped spinners, but like I say, this is probably the spinner I'm going to use because it's the lightest. And I got quite a bit more to cut on. You look here and you see the lump right here. About 32nd of an inch or so. So it'll get ground down again. Keep grinding until it gets right. But I did show you how to get that little detail in there. And that looks it looks a whole lot better when this is done than just sticking the canopy on. Remember, this is inside the cockpit. The front of the canopy will be right here. So the dashboard would theoretically be under this, and this is the overhang. So the pilot cutout is right here. And it looks strange because it's blocked off here, but this will be trimmed way down. And I might start trimming that way down when I come back. But the hours spent thinking this stuff through really pay off in the finished model. Really, big time. Now, if you look in here, we have a hole right there. Not a big deal. I'll put a block of wood across there. I'll put a block of wood across there and glue that down when this top block is finished sanding. So it'll be sticking out there. Then I'll finish that off. And then from the inside, take a Dremel tool and take away all this wood. You don't need any of this stuff inside here. And then ground that out. And I'll also grind the bottom here where the engine goes so it has well, that's great, Alexander. This will all be hollow inside here. Then there'll be a small bridge across here. Then this will get hollowed all the way back to here. Then there'll be a bridge across here. And then, of course, this all will get taken away. So this will lose 50% of its weight after the outside is shaped, but still be just as strong. So you want to get this sanded down or hollowed out till it's about 3/32 to 1/8 of an inch thick all the way around. Now, John had those really nice caliper doohickeys. I need to make me a pair of those. Thickness gauge. But keep looking. I keep looking down there to see where am I high, like right here. This is kind of a problem on these kind of noses. Is this black line here is a hard edge, and you're not going to get that out until it's fiberglass, till everything's hard. So don't worry about it. When you get it all hardened up, you can sand it with 180, 220, 320 primate if you want. I'm now that DC 540 is gone, I'm staying away from primer. I found out you don't need it as long as you're sanding. All right, guys, we've been on 1 hour. I appreciate it. I will be back after I go to the supermarket, and we'll continue on. I'd like to get this done at least today. And like I said, I want to build a cowl, which is the way that I build cowls is super simple. And it's not a problem. It's basically 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of wood glued together. Stick it on there, shape it, hollow it out, you're good to go. Got to figure. I'm going to use popsicle sticks, I think, as tabs. These will be tabs to hold the cowl on with a hole in it. Maybe I don't know. Might have to use 1/8 inch. This is pretty flimsy stuff. Maybe we'll glue some plywood to it or whatever. But there'll be a popsicle stick and they'll go down. The hole will be right there. We'll put the carbon tube in there and make a nice clean opening. I want to do this. This is a tribute airplane, so I want to do this as nice as possible. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a couple hours. See ya. Fair winds, tight lines.